Hi, everybody. Thank you, Georgia and Rajesh, for doing so much with the concept and the data. I simply put the dashboard together. I know we're trying to look at how to use the dashboard, and that's why I want to share with you some of the top lines of things that I have discovered, so it will save everybody time. I guess the first thing I want to once I put it together, the thing that kind of makes me feel, okay, this seems to be doing something for us is because the things that should go up did go up, like such as the bus stops overall. There is a 13% increase. We're comparing between April the 25th to May the 8th, so which is really assuming in this period when the lockdown is easing off. Also, Rajesh reminded me that the lockdown eased off on May the 5th, and then on May the 7th was a holiday, so those are the two special days to look for. Also, things that did go up is airport went up by 22%. So it would be helpful to check the flight schedules, compare if there are more flights going, flying in and out. The outdoor spaces have increased by 26%, so it makes sense as well because people are encouraged to go out more. The malls has increased by 14%. So this is in line with the bus stops. The things that should go down is the cafes, minus 13%. People are not gathering and drinking coffee together. The QSR went down by a lot, by 58%. So with McDonald's closing, I guess it has an impact. The pharmacies also went down. It could mean that people are less paranoid, which is good. They're not getting sick. They're not going to buy extra drugs. To look at the data, so this is, for example, if we look at it, I very quickly go through each one of them. There's a 13% increase comparing this day to this day. Okay, so we can see that there's a bit of a peak over here, and then kind of die down a little bit, and then it's lifted up a little bit over here. So that's good news. There seems to be some kind of momentum sustaining the seeming drop earlier. The airport's similar to that. So as you can see, there's a little bit of an here, bringing it up a little bit. The other location, less of a drop overall, but the seems to be building up upon what was already kind of big up to begin with, which is good. The shopping malls, the same thing, go down a little bit. So there's some magical things happening around here and here, kind of lifting things up a bit. On the other hand, cafes, it's not like that, kind of went down. The still appear, but it has less of an effect, okay, compared to the other ones. The QSR, oh my God, this one had no it's just kind of going down. The pharmacies, like I mentioned earlier, this is minus 60% because this one day, I don't know if it's because we haven't got all the data in on that specific day yet, or whatever the other reasons might be. So this might be a little bit exaggerated. So if I look overall, they all share a very similar kind of a trend. Now, if I were to so I guess that's really the message. If you dig into each one of them, if you dig too deep, sometimes individual locations there might be discrepancies. Someday we may collect more data than others, and you start to show the imperfections. My thinking is if people actually drill down to it and see the imperfections, it just means that this is real. In real life, not everything is so aligned. So if we were to make it up, we wouldn't make up imperfect data. So that if they drill down to that level. Now, one thing I find very interesting is this is the overall bus stops at 13%. So if I get the lasso tool, so I want to compare our traffic actually increasing evenly. So if I go and look at this district of Singapore, and it's waiting. We have a 6% increase. Still an increase, but not a big increase. What about we compare to the downtown area and see what that would be in relative terms? That's where a lot of the bigger increase comes into play, 18%. Like, for example, in this part, I'm not from Singapore, so I'm not as familiar. It's also low, right? Remember how low it was? So on the outskirt area, it's a little bit low. But I found out in this area, it is a little bit higher again. It's about 11. So our average is 13, right? So so it's kind of low around here, medium, and then really high over here. So it kind of gives you a bit of an idea. I think buzzwords is good because it kind of evenly spread out. It actually gives a very, very nice representation, unbiased representation of our data. So that's kind of what I gathered so far. And if you find any other things, please add to it, and let's see what we get out of this. Thank you.